And I'm Neil Patel, and today I'm going to be breaking down smart spending strategies for 2024. What I really want to break down is where you can spend marketing dollars that actually deliver amazing results. So, my name is Neil Patel. I'm the co founder of an ad agency called NP Digital. We work with a lot of big brands all over the world, from the Amazons to Louis Vuitton to Cisco's, Microsoft's, Adobe's, the list goes on and on. Have a lot of awards. The reason I want to show this isn't because I think I'm the best or anything like that. It's more so the strategies, the techniques work, and the data that we use helps inform these decisions. And I want to showcase some of that data to you. A little about us: won a lot of awards, have quite a bit of employees, again, work with a lot of big brands. And today, when I break down some of the things you should know in marketing, keep in mind we're implementing them on a lot of companies and it's working. The first question you need to ask yourself is, are you barking up the wrong marketing tree? We surveyed 118 businesses in different verticals to see which marketing channels people prioritize and if the results were really worth it. So when we look at what channels companies really prioritize, the biggest one is they spend more time on organic social media than any other channel out there. But then when we look at the revenue that each channel drives, organic social media is driving one of the smallest amounts of revenue. You look at the other channels, they're driving a large amount of revenue, such as paid ads or SEO. Even influencer marketing is doing better than organic social. Does this mean you shouldn't do organic social? No, it's more so you need to adjust how you spend your time to maximize your ROI. So now let's talk about where the smart money is going in 2024, because you want to make sure you're reinvesting in the right areas. Well, when we surveyed what are the biggest revenue drivers for companies that generate over 100 million, it tends to be paid ads, SEO, email, and blogging. These are the four main channels that are producing a massive ROI for corporations. And even if you look at businesses of any size based on the data that HubSpot is shown on the right side, you're seeing things like social media shopping tools, paid social, email marketing content, SEOs up there as well. All these things really help. And SEO really reigns supreme because you don't have to continually pay money per click. Sure, you're paying for time and people to put in energy into something, but you're not necessarily paying per click. So if you can keep getting traffic at a much lower cost and that traffic keeps growing over time, so will your ROI. Now, this doesn't mean that you should do SEO over paid ads. Meta, Google, YouTube, all these places wouldn't be generating billions of dollars in paid ad revenue if that also wasn't producing a ROI. What you need to do is leverage all marketing channels that produce a positive ROI. Because if you're making money, why not do it? Sure, some channels make less than others, but they all add up. And email marketing, a lot of people say it's dead, but it's far from dead. When you look at the data out there, it continually works well. A lot of people, have continually send out emails because it generates revenue. You send out an email, you get sales. You don't send out emails, you don't make as much money in sales. This is why companies like Intuit bought MailChimp. They wouldn't have done this if they didn't feel that it would drive a high ROI. And social shopping is also on the rise. It used to be where people just Google, I want to buy, red bicycle, and you would find options or go to Amazon. But now you browse TikTok, you see a lot of stuff, you click a buy button. The last thing I bought from there was this cup that mixes my green drinks together with water, and it does it on demand. And I just click a button and it's ready to go, and it disinfects and all this kind of stuff. You still need to wash it, but it was kind of cool. Found it from browsing Instagram. Wasn't looking for a cup, it just happened to show up. And social shopping is turning into discovery and is booming at a very rapid pace. So now let's dive into channel specific strategies to maximize your results. And let's first start off with Google SEO. When you look at search, it's not just text. There's a lot of things that people are clicking on these days when it comes to search results. The big one being is if there's a video above the fold, people are clicking on it. It wasn't that way in 2023. Videos and images are growing at a rapid pace when you look at percentage of the people that are clicking and seeing these results. Before it was just a lot of text space. Again, things have changed over time. And it's not the same SERP that your parents are used to when they first started using Google. You can now type in a question and it just gives you the answer. How are the pyramids built? What's a best place to go on a hike in Los Angeles, California, if you have a dog and kids? It will show you real examples and try to give you what you want with AI, which is also quite amazing. You also have to keep in mind that you want to get your content within these AI overviews. So when you search on Google, depending on the region, at least in the United States, you can see AI overviews. It's their AI results, kind of like ChatGPT. You can get your website showcase in there. And when you do that, you can get more traffic. We're seeing on average at our ad agency, NP Digital, our customers are getting a little bit more than a percent extra, somewhere around a percent in traffic after Google released the AI results. Some people are like, oh, it's going to crush SEO results. It hasn't yet. And video popularity is just going to keep going up. We're in an age and a world where people love video and video content, so just keep that in mind. Videos are great. The more, the merrier. You also want to lean into Amazonification. If you look at Google Shopping and Amazon, it's really, really similar. Now, Google's eventually making it where you can just continually refine your results versus redoing a search. So if you're saying, I'm looking for an electric bike, and then you would just say, oh, I just want it red. I want the ideal one to ride up a hill. And all these kind of things, instead of just redoing your search, they're making it more and more efficient over time. You also want to supplement your SEO strategy with Google Ads. Yes, more people click on organic results than paid ads, but people still click on paid ads. And if they didn't, Google wouldn't be generating 200 plus billion from paid advertising. So now let's talk about social media marketing. There's a lot of channels out there. The orange are channels marketers are using. The blue are channels that resulted in the biggest ROI. You want to make sure you optimize your time on the channels that produce the biggest ROI versus the ones that look cool but may not produce as much ROI. For example, Facebook, a lot of people say it's dead. Not really. It still produces a massive ROI and a lot of revenue for Meta. When you're thinking about social media, you also want to think about paid social ads. It's a massive channel. Now, targeting young people, you would want to use platforms like TikTok, Snap, or Instagram. You're targeting older people, of course, you want to adjust the platform to like Facebook. But when you're looking at channels like TikTok, it's a great wide open opportunity that not a lot of companies are leveraging, and it's not that competitive. If you want to widen your reach and just target pretty much everyone, not as the youth as much, but pretty much everyone other than the really young people, you'll want to choose Meta ads. It's still very effective and it produces a massive ROI. They have a big user base that still logs in and they have great reach. If you're looking for active attention, then I would recommend that you tell stories on YouTube. And there's a lot of different ways that you can do it, such as you can see here. You can use YouTube for lead generation through in-stream ads, or brand awareness for non-skippable ads, or brand consideration through video discovery ads. The possibility is endless, but YouTube is a really popular platform to leverage. An interesting fact, most people don't know this, YouTube is the second most popular search engine out there. If you want to go for social media optimization, also known as organic social or SEO for social or social SEO, you want to really look at the channels out there that are continually generating traffic for evergreen, such as things like YouTube. A lot of YouTube content out there keeps getting views years later because people also search. And more people are searching on social than they ever had before. So you're going to start seeing your social content keep getting traffic over time. You can use tools like Answer the Public or TikTok's Creator Insights to see what people are searching on social. These are great tools to use to give you ideas on what's hot and what's not on social. And you also want to focus on content that engages, right? So when you think about short form videos, that's what a lot of people use because that does create a ton of engagement. But here's the kicker. If you create long form videos or even podcast style interviews and you record them in their long form, you've not only done interviews, but you also create a long form video. You can take sound bites from them, chop them up, and then you also have short form videos. So you're pretty much knocking two or three birds with one stone in this essence, right? And if you want to think about text-based content, the text-based content that does the best tends to be how-to articles or listicles. There's a big drop-off after that. It doesn't mean that you can't produce text-based content that aren't listicles or how-to. It's just you're usually not going to get as high of a ROI. Now let's talk about influencer partnerships. Influencer partnerships are huge. The key, though, with influencer partnerships is finding the right influencer, ones who are known in your space, who have engagement. It doesn't need to be a Kim Kardashian. And you want to look for ones that are open for you being able to boost their content, ones that are not just well known in your space, but have tons of engagement around your space. Their social profiles don't talk about everything and they focus. These are the ones that are going to do the best over time. Some quick tips. Macro influencers can generate some ROI, so can middle influencers, but the real revenue is from micro influencers. And when I say revenue, I'm more so talking about profitable revenue. We tend to find celebrities give great brand awareness, but don't produce the highest ROI. And it gets better as you go down towards micro influencers. And micro influencers are just more flexible. Celebrities are like, we'll keep up the post for a day or X hours. Micro influencers, they just leave them up. Let's also talk about setting up shop. These social platforms like TikTok are a great way for people to buy. And same with Facebook and Instagram. And the reason these places are important is because you can do discovery-based shopping, in which if you create something that's catchy, like a video that explains why people should buy it, and they can help you target the ideal people who would want to buy that product, you can generate quite a bit in sales. It's super effective. I would say around 15 to 20% of my shopping now, what I buy online, is because of Instagram and TikTok and me just buying within platform. They're competing with Amazon. It's actually very, very effective. The most popular networks for social commerce, Facebook's at 19%, Instagram at 12%, YouTube for 9, TikTok for 8, Snap 6, Pinterest 6, X 5. This is from eMarketer. And if you don't have time to focus on all of them, keep in mind a lot of the same content you can repurpose. Typically, what works for Facebook works for YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, etc. So it's not like you actually have to go and create content 5, 6 times. You can just repurpose. The next strategy I want to talk about is personalized messaging. If you're going to send messages, if it's not personalized, it just doesn't convert as well. It needs to align with your brand and the customer journey. 87% of marketers plan to continue on increasing their investment in the middle mobile messaging through channels like SMS, Facebook Messenger, and WhatsApp. And the reason I want to read this part is WhatsApp is a social network that has so many users, right? They have billions of active users, yet no one really focuses on WhatsApp from a business standpoint. And you want to embrace chatbots. People use them. They're coming everywhere. And because of AI, they're getting better and better. So you want to make sure you leverage them and consider integrating AI when possible as well. The third thing I want to discuss is email marketing. 5 email trends that you want to consider for 2024. Use generative AI to save time. Invest in advanced personalization. You got to segment. If you don't segment, the ROI isn't as great. And it should be used for B2C brands and B2B. They both have great opportunities, and you want to experiment to see what's working for your audience. And don't be afraid to use new tactics, such as you can now sell within your email, but actually make it within the email message. They can select the size of the t-shirt, click buy without ever even going to your website. And dynamic content also helps. You can do things like adjusting what each people see, like their name, or even putting countdown timers within an email as well. All this helps generate more revenue. You can try out quite a few things. I love the countdown timer. It's one of the most effective strategies. You just want to make sure that it is a real countdown timer, not those fake ones that just keep lasting and lasting. You can personalize, tracking like for shipping and all these kind of things as well. So some key takeaways for you to keep in mind is you want to track the ROI from every single channel that you're working on. And the reason this is important is marketing is about ROI. If you just go out there and say, you know what, we want to go and we want to just spend time on these new up and coming channels because they're sexy. That's great. But if it's not moving the needle in the business, what's going to happen is you're going to get surpassed by your competition. You know, People look at these creative ad agencies and they're like, wow, look at these sexy commercials they make. Most people don't realize this, but the biggest portion of agencies' revenues and profits doesn't come from creative work. Why? It's sexy, but it usually doesn't produce the highest ROI. A lot of times, boring things like paid Google ads, paid Facebook ads, leveraging social shopping, leveraging SEO and email marketing, or even conversion optimization, they really move the needle, but a lot of companies tend to ignore them because they're just not as sexy. And you also don't want to be afraid to try new channels. When something that's new that just comes out and everyone's talking about it, you should sign up. Don't spend too much time, but if you start seeing that it's gaining traction, then double down on it. If you're not seeing it gain as much traction, then don't double down on it. Just be careful because you don't want to double down on the wrong channels. And then, of course, you want to use multiple channels to ensure that your marketing is foolproof and sound. A lot of people have this notion that in marketing, if Facebook ads are working really well, great, keep doing it. And if SEO is working out great, keep doing that and focus all your effort on it. But what if something happens to your SEO rankings? Or what if something changes with the Facebook algorithm and Chrome releases a change that affects privacy and it makes Facebook ad targeting not as good? All these kind of things can affect your revenue, your marketing. So you want to diversify your marketing channels, try quite a few, and use them for what they're giving and maximize your ROI for each channel. Just because one channel only may make 5 or 10% of your revenue and it may not be as good as a channel that makes 50%, that's okay. It's about diversification. It's a pure numbers game. That way, when something wrong happens, you're not having all your eggs in one basket. When we look at most of the large corporations we work with, technically all the large corporations we work with, the ones that are doing hundreds plus millions, if not billions in revenue, none of them have marketing channels that drive all the revenue. It literally is spread across most channels, including branding, conferences, even offline things that you may not be thinking of, like radio and television. They all literally add up. So if you want to download the deck, you can just scan the QR code. You can get all the charts. I know I went through quite a few charts and data points, but you can scan the QR code right there with your phone. You just bust it out, scan it, and you'll be able to download the deck and get all the charts. And hopefully it helps you with your marketing and prioritizing helps you prioritize what you should do to maximize your ROI. Thank you guys very much for taking the time to listen. Appreciate you guys being here.